It's Tuesday, June 3rd, and here's some of the news beyond the headlines. Spain's King Juan Carlos is stepping down after nearly 40 years in power, making way for his son, Crown Prince Felipe, to take over. The monarch has prided himself on steering Spain from dictatorship to democracy, but he says it's time for new leadership. The king's popularity suffered the last few years as the country teetered on the brink of financial collapse, and both economists and protesters have criticised the austerity measures that followed as too drastic and too swift. King Juan Carlos says his son has what it takes to bring Spain into, quote, a new era of hope. 4 people have been arrested in France on suspicion of recruiting fighters to join rebel forces in Syria. The arrests came a day after officials announced that a French national implicated in last month's shooting at a Jewish museum in Belgium had recently spent a year in Syria. It's estimated that up to 1,500 Europeans have joined the battle against government forces in Syria. While Syrians vote in their first presidential election in 50 years, the war-torn nation is leaning a little closer to its closest ally. Syria plans to make Russian language instruction mandatory in all schools. That's at the expense of French, which has been taught in most Syrian schools since French rule nearly a century ago. Syrian officials say the decision had nothing to do with politics. The Afghan government isn't happy about the conditions of a deal the US struck to swap 5 high-profile Taliban detainees for Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl. The agreement, brokered by the government of Qatar, requires the 5 men released from the Guantanamo Bay detention center in Cuba to stay in the Gulf nation for at least a year to make sure they don't return to Afghanistan to fight. But a source close to Afghan President Hamid Karzai told the Reuters news agency he wasn't even informed of the negotiations until after the deal was done. While some analysts say the secrecy raises questions about the future of Afghan peace talks with the Taliban, others say the exchange was critical for building trust. Check out the VICE News YouTube channel for more original reporting and documentaries from around the world.
I've been charged for murder. I've been charged for conspiracy to murder. I've been charged for treason. I've been charged for terrorism. I've been charged for guns and ammunition. Nothing has stuck because they just fabricated all these cases against me.